But anyway, on the top, we've had all these great policy things that Marines are involved with. This is just some nuts and bolts operational things we've been working on. One, we've needed a database-based member list rather than a spreadsheet. And there have been some false starts as people have come on board that had experience in working with those sorts of things. They said, yeah, I want to get involved and do that, but then they kind of fell by the wayside. Dan came on as membership manager, and Dan actually does this sort of thing for a living. That would probably help. And coding, and so he's actually been doing a lot of work, and he's also been absorbing costs as a gift in kind to the state, so it hasn't cost us anything at this point. And in a nutshell, we got a database in place, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the elements. Pretty much the greenish ones are pretty much operational. All right, and tied in. Other things we want to add. Now let me tell you this. First of all, Dan, especially for his age, I've always been amazed, is a skilled coder. But so the database, I'm going to give you a few little tips on that. Dan's going to talk more about the technical side of that. So now, basically what's going to happen, people go in and sign up online. In the past, it went into a file we could download, then had to manually enter into our own spreadsheet type thing. This will actually goes into the database directly now. And one of the things Dan's going to talk a little bit more about is we want all members to be able to start going into it, and you're basically going to set up an account like you would for many other things, and you'll be able to go in and update your own data, and everything from phone numbers changing to addresses, that sort of stuff, voting districts. You'll be able to have control of your own data on that. So that'll be a big plus.
Your profile.
Yeah. And we can go in now, the database. We're setting things up, and Dan will talk, based on role. So say an officer says Sherry is chairperson, can sign into your account, and she'll pretty much be able to access everything. All right. But say local liaisons can sign in as a local liaison, and they can be able to access the database for their local, for the counties that are involved, and can mix and match and sort and email.
Local.
The contact, the local contact was probably, and again, we'll reach a point where the party's going to have to make some decisions on policy. It's like, okay, what can be emailed to the entire membership list and things like that. For now we're setting that on a very limited basis to get it operational, but the party's going to have to make some choices there. We'll talk about those to work with. Security has been a big issue, and he's got that in place now. And again, Dan has got experience working for companies that built things for defense contractors and credit unions where security was really important, and he's made a pretty secure setup with that. Other things he's looking at, from everything from putting the canvassing and campaign files and things set up, to resource management, getting even the budget and finances into it. Because the ideal is the website will have basically things that anybody can go in and look at, others only members can see and access, and sign into your account and you'll get additional access to different things. And those sorts of things are in place to work with that. And again, we're going to make this shorter than we intended to move through a few things, but it's possible, and we've got all 5 of them set up right now for officer emails. There's going to be some additional costs to do all the officers. We've got some ideas on that. We'll get back to it on that. But the ones that are there, for example, I'm treasurer. Basically, email can be sent through the various means from the website to others to treasurer, Green Party of Michigan. I, as the current treasurer, it's a real simple thing for me to log in, and I can direct that to be forwarded to whatever email account I use and want it to go to. The advantage there is that when the new treasurer comes in, they've got a record of every email that went to the treasurer that stays with the treasurer account for each of the other officers. All right, so there's you've got history, things don't get missed, that sort of thing. Like I say, we're working on some ideas for that, eliminating some of that cost. When you sign up, we talked about it going in. It'll also basically a welcome package. However it gets developed and built, we've had some already. It'll automatically go out to the members when they sign up. Nobody has to make that effort to, oh, I've got to send this out to them and work on that. Different elements of the system, as we said, depending on your role you have. Here's again, I want to stress, we're setting just some minimal, what we think are basic common sense limits. Get it operational. The party's going to have to make decisions on, like I said, things like the communications manager, for example, should be able to reach all the members all the time for various things. But who else could do that? And can work with that. We think the local contact person. But again, you'll know that the database is always accurate and up to date as it can be. People can update it themselves and their own. And you'll be able to take and pull and sort in various combinations right there. Download it to your system, parts of it, whatever. We're going to recommend right now that every officer starts thinking about and making notes about what are the things I need access to, what are the things I would like to have, so that we can build those into some of that. Because as treasurer, I'm going to want access to different things than what, say, the meeting manager is, and that sort of stuff. We can set that up. One of the things we made one of our higher priorities because of the SEC issues we've had and things is a polling voting system that will basically can be used for either just the SEC or you can vote for the whole party, have the whole party access. But it'll actually check when you do the voting. It'll check and say, yes, you're a member of the SEC, you can vote on this. And it will actually check against the database for most things that you do. That, oh yeah, you are a member, you can do this, like that. So that's built into there. And security systems are in place. I mentioned that. I say we're going to rush through this. We're pretty much transferring the existing website it's going to look similar, but we're cleaning it up and making it a little fresher. This is where I make it clear. If anybody has experience with web page design, the actual look of it, Dan's got the coding behind it now, but anybody can actually do the design part of things. How would you actually see? I'd love to have you work with this. Because I've been doing it, and I'm a manager. The party owns the domain. We have the ability to change there. We've actually, several officers have been copied on all the access and passwords for domain stuff. So it's not in the hands of any one person.
So why did they have to change the domain?
We basically were not able to, and we can get into that another time, but the person who had access to it didn't seem to want to give it up.
That's one perspective. I'm the person who really came up with access.
And that's what I say, we don't need to get into that now.
You can ask me. I think that's another written statement about the page. That's all I'll say.
Like I said, it's different perspectives. But I do want to make sure we give a big thank you to Dan in addition to being members of the manager. He's got a lot of knowledge in this, additional costs and things and setting it up and getting going. Because we're doing it, I know Dan's going to want to cover some things here in a little more detail because he speaks tech and I'm trying to translate the tech into more plain English.
Thank you.
But we also, because of the shorting thing, provided there's no major objections out there. We're going to try, like probably the week before the next SMM, and we're looking at using, we're going to look at a platform, we're doing a webinar where we basically want to send to all the membership, and you can opt into it, and We'll set up a webinar, more detail, probably an hour or more, and you can log in online and we'll do a live webinar, take you through the detail of how to do this. Dan wants to know to get you all started logging in now and setting up your profiles and that sort of stuff and checking them, and he'll talk about that too.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, Paul. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And so now, I get the point, right? Here's the point. Paul said that I'm the coder. That's what I did. Now, here's the thing. If, let's say you're a cop, you know that there's going to come a time when I have proof you really can't eat a box of donuts. All right? And if you're a coding guy, there's going to come a time when you have proof that you can really be the most boring person in the room. And so I'm going to try to keep it brief. You know, I'm not going to do a whole lot of details. And even if I did try to cover everything, there'd be just too much. You're going to want to talk. We're going to want to talk, and you're going to want to listen to what's available and what's possible with this thing. We're going to want to be doing that feedback yet. And so anyway, okay, so this is the first screen, right? Yeah. Okay, so Paul was talking about the Michigan Green Party actually owning the account, they own the code that not the code exactly, but the binaries. Everything that I'm developing is going to belong to you. The account belongs to you. The email, bulk marketing belongs to you. The domain name belongs to you. And you can see this is just, if you go to whois.com and do a search for that, you can see who owns this domain. And it resides just registered right now on the server at GoDaddy. And it doesn't have to stay there. You can move it any place you want to. It's yours. You can lock me out if you want to, you know. You can do that because it's not mine, it's yours. All right, and so you can go ahead and click and move on. And again, we can always answer any questions that might come up. This is what I have right now for a homepage of the business app. And this is just something that came real simple and quick. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on this thing. If I had the thing actually running, you see a little picture scroll and you can do other things with this thing. But I didn't spend a lot of time on the layout. What you'll notice is HTTP, and right now if you was to hit the site, you would see HTTP, and the reason for that is, like Jake was saying, you hit the email button, the security is something I just put on last Thursday, and so it's got a secure certificate and all of that, and in order to do that, I actually had to transfer the site from one directory to another. I'm putting, right now, the security just in the root directory, and that's where all of this resides, and so those those attachments and stuff weren't set up that way, and so I had to actually take down the security on the site right now. It's not forcing it to be secure right now. So if you were to go to michigreenparty.org, you would get HTTP. If you was to go HTTPS, that would work too, because we do have a secure certificate, but it's not forcing it to be secure right now. But it will be, after today. So it's secure, and so you can notice that. Another thing you might want to notice here is the join button. Let's see, we can go ahead and scroll the next screen, maybe. And so this is something I put together some time ago, and this is nothing different from a little different. It was in forms instead of just an HTML page. But I didn't do anything different with the controls we have here. The text boxes are the same text boxes we were using on the other page. The only reason I really made it different is because if there's validation errors, they stand out a little more clearly here. After my wife thought that she had actually subscribed as a member here and didn't, I thought I'd better do something to make it a little bit more obvious when somebody screws up. But my point is here, if you was to look at this with your cell phone or something, it would look like a web page. These boxes wouldn't collide, and know that you had a cell phone. This is just a page. And it has the same validation, it has the same, it's asking you for county rather than calculating it from the zip code, and all this kind of other stuff. You have to put it in just the way you put in the other one. And so this is what we have right now if you were to click on the join page from the other thing. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on. And that's going to change. I wanted you to see this. If you ever want to know what's my password, I can't tell you because I'm not looking at it. I don't have it. I don't see it. What we're saving is the password hash. And so we're hashing the password. And the algorithm I don't have. Nobody that I know in the world has it. It hashes it. And so we store that. And then you come back in and you feed your password in again. It'll hash it again and compare the hashes. So there's no way to look and tell you what your password is. Okay, we go ahead and move on. This is what right now. This is what happens when somebody comes in and logs in and creates an account. And by the way, when they do that, we're not filling out the membership form here. What we've done is we've logged in, and so we give the thing an email address and we give it a username, and it goes out. First of all, verifies is this a Green Party thing? Because that won't be allowed. But it will actually send an email then to you, and you verify this is my email and it hasn't been used yet. It's unique. then you can qualify as a user. And so you verify that you have that email. That is your email you have access to. And so then you go ahead and be a user. And once you do that, then actually, this is an authenticated user, so this is somebody who's had the email verified, and so they have status as an authenticated user. No roles yet. And by the way, Paul mentioned roles. You can have multiple roles. And so, like Sherry could be the chairperson. She could also be, some other kind of role, and other kind of role. You can have a whole raft of roles, depending on what you want to do. Okay. All right.
Well, basically check those against what you've got access to.
Right. Now, all of this is real skimpy right now, and you only got two things you can do as an authenticated user. You can change your password, or you can go and change your own data. And if you was to do that, you would end up at that membership form. It would take that email that you just keyed in, which you have access to. It would look through that membership data, because maybe you already have a record we've keyed in for you at some time in the past. You may read it. It'll find that email, and it'll populate the membership form then with that data, and then you go ahead and edit that if you want to, and so it'll match that up for you. Okay, we can roll on one more. Okay, yeah, there's the membership form now. Now this is the membership form the way it looks with somebody who has access to actually edit that. Now I'm a little reluctant to give that out to everybody right now because I don't yet have in place change tracking, history tracking in the database. It would be nice to have that in place before people go and make changes, because we can come back later and say, who made that change, what did they change, why did they change? We have a record of all of that stuff, we can change things back again. Right now that doesn't exist. But anyway, this person, whoever it is, has access to the, no, they don't. This is just their own data. Let's go ahead and move on. Sorry. Okay, so this is the chairperson. We can go ahead and click on what chairperson's got a membership list up here, too, by the way. A little link to the membership list. This is the screen I was talking about. Here's the membership data. And so this is somebody who actually can edit it. You can see that because there's a button that says add a new member. If you was to click on this, you'll go to the details page, and this person will be able to actually edit that and update it too. And just say, click. Okay, what you could do if you had access to the data without being able to edit the data is you wouldn't have that button, and you wouldn't be able to edit that other stuff, but you would be able to click on the select counties list. You get a little drop down here. You can say Kalamazoo, you can say whatever county you want. Click a button and it'll export it to an Excel file. And you can download that, and you can have that right now today. And so that's why I'm saying I don't have to be emailing you those lists all the time, which is insecure anyway, right? Emailing that membership list.
Sort actually, sort it whenever
You can sort it, no, yeah. You can sort it here. And then you get that thing downloaded so it's secure, unlike email. But go ahead.
So at some point, we will be able to do that, not just certain people?
Well, somebody in here is going to have to get together and decide who's going to have the authority to do what. Right? Okay, but everybody in here will have the access to update their own data. But if you want to have access to everybody's data to view it, we have to decide who. And then who's going to be able to edit it, but to decide who. And so all of that stuff's up and to be decided. Okay, we can. Thanks, Paul. Okay, and so like Paul was saying, this is kind of a job scope, the way I see this thing working through. Now, these little areas here are things that are existing now, but need to be revamped, it looks like. This is like the public-facing page. I say it's the thing that everybody can see from the outside. Okay, and everything above that line, this is kind of like, you can imagine, is public-facing. And then down here, this is for authorized users with various roles. And a content management is something like Weebly or something. This is something we need to develop. I need to develop this for you so that you don't have to have skills in coding. You can just go ahead and log in as a webmaster, take the controls, and do like you do with a Weebly site. This would be a content management system. You'll be able to actually update this and anything else you want to, the way it looks, and change stuff. Here's an online store, and there's a blog site. Now, I worked on both of those and got those up and functioning pretty well before I realized the technology I was using, which was developed just in January, wasn't yet able to run on GoDaddy servers, which are the servers we're using right now. Sometime in the future, we may decide to have our own servers, physical servers. Sometime in the future, we want to have something in the cloud. Right now, we're using GoDaddy servers. We can put this thing anywhere we want to, but right now, we're kind of limited to what GoDaddy has, and they don't use the core technology yet. They aren't there yet. We're using MVC, by the way, 5, which is, here we go. Okay, I'm using dependency injection and version of control, and I can go on and on and on. It's all this stuff that really impresses me with this, But, even the little things like a link that'll let you reset your password is so completely different now. I'll say to my wife, I got it working. And she said, well, you did that 10 years ago. But everything is completely different now in the back end, behind the scenes. And so I'm excited about all this. Anyway, the job scope here, what I did was I looked at every single office. Everybody's got responsibilities in here. Everybody should be able to come in and do business on this website. This should be a business application for everybody in here. So let's go ahead and move on. Right now it's just membership because that's what I need. Okay, this is from the Grand Valley side. I got to tell you, okay, so I'm at the Green Party of West Michigan, and I see this very talented, skillful, delightful, sense of humor. Gabriel shows up, a Latino, can't speak the language well enough for me to really understand what he's saying, but I look at his resume, my God, this guy can do stuff with the code, okay, and database, systems analysis and stuff. And so I was going to ask him anyway. I said, you want to help me with this? He says, yeah. I said, beautiful, I got a partner. I said, yeah, okay, call me. And I called him up. And he says, okay, the way I see this working out is going to be a subscription service that we provide. And he starts telling me about how he's done business like this in the past. And I said, wait, I'm not going to be making money off this. Silence. I said, I'm giving this away. Silence. Okay, and he didn't come to meetings after that. Stopped, back on our appointment. And that's the way it goes. This is Grand Valley. Okay, Melba is a doctor. She's from Puerto Rico. Showed up at the Green Valley, or the West Michigan Greens, from Grand Valley, and she tipped me off that I could be using the internship program at Grand Valley. I've already got submission in there. We're going to probably start working and maybe developing greens from Grand Valley. They'll be helping us with a computer programming, and when they can, they'll probably fall right in the ranks of this here. Young youngsters, you know how they are. Okay, and so let's go to the next screen. Yeah, now this is what I'm calling right now myself, but I'm talking about us. This is the entity that I imagine who we are. This is called Humanity Servers, plural. .com. I wish Aaron was here, because I'm contrasting this to Nation Builder, singular. Okay, Nation Builder to me connotes borders with machine guns and bombs. Okay, Nation Builder. Okay, this is Humanity Servers, plural. This is us doing what we can for free. Even though when you give stuff away, it has no value, they say. This is what we're doing. We're helping humanity by giving stuff away for free, developing this for you and for other Green Party groups who are willing to take hold of it. And I'm planning on making it open source for people who qualify, for organizations that qualify. This is Humanity Servers. But if you wonder why there's a manatee down there, take a look online sometime, like I did, and see what kind of a logo can you come up with, humanity, and see what you see. Okay? See what you see. Okay. And so, let's click it. I think it might be that. And hey, I want to thank Paul and Rita especially, but everybody in here. It's a pleasure working with. Like I said, a dream come true. Thanks so much.
But I do want to stress officers and think about what sort of things you need in your position and that you want access to, so that we can get that information and give it to you.
Did I hear that our current membership is already in this system? Or
Yeah, answer that. Yeah, rather than having a whole bunch of distributed Excel spreadsheets all over the universe, being emailed back and forth, what we now have is we have everything in a single centralized SQL database. And this is going to be a relational database. Right now we only have the user stuff in a relational database. Now, the membership data is still just one of them. There should be several tables of locals. Every now and again, but yeah, it's in a
so will we expect all our members to sign up, or will we be able to populate that?
We can still do everything we're doing now, but what we could also invite the members to do is to create an account and take care of their own.
Because that way the file information, because now we've had to manually enter things that were sent to a file. This way you can check your spellings, phone numbers will change, emails change. And we think it's a more accurate way to keep it current.
We can still do it now.
Even if they don't know what county they live in?
Yeah, this is almost everything. Aaron, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dan, I was wondering, we talked the other day about when new members goes to the state website, signs up to be a member, that would be in my local, to do a script, there's a mail-to demand. Could we just also write a script that every 6 months constantly to update the records?
Okay, I want to say two things. I want to answer your question and say yes. And I want to say this is going to really be pompous. Okay, I'm going to say the answer to every one of your questions is going to be yes. Now, I said that to Paul, and he proved me wrong. He gave me a couple of counterattacks. So these had to do with the database server, the email server, and the web server. We don't own them. And so we're limited as to what we can do on those servers. Now, someday we'll have our own servers. Either that or we'll have an account with cloud, and we'll have access to ourselves. Right now, that's the only thing we can do. But yes, everything you're saying we can do.
What's our reading
Bring it.
for sending?
Oh, the mass emailing? God, I don't think
Bandwidth
anywhere.
Anywhere. Bandwidth or data storage.
I think he's saying how many emails can we send out in these mails, right?
That's it, right, but data
Yeah, so
storage.
say for some reason, we
will never know
one
what's
day,
in the
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Basically, some of us.
Is it?
Yeah, we're not.
That's one of the
We're
big
not.
pluses. Because when we were sending out newsletters under the old system, we had to break the list down into, I think we were 15, 16 groups. And some of those would get tagged with spam because there was so many. No,
Yeah.
the new system, it can go to all at once, no spam, you know.
I think and it keeps all the statistics, and all that other stuff. People can unsubscribe. Rita, I think Rita said this, or maybe somebody else did. It took her 2 hours to get through that list, and I believe that because I think it took me that long just to wait for the ads to roll. And so she had to set them up in bulk in groups of 50. And when you got 1,300 members, that's a lot of little 50 email groups to sit and wait for. And then if you got to send out 2 in the same day, then can you imagine how long that would take? Sorry, man, but I was thinking of that. This is such a pleasure, such a breeze. He says, I got to send out another email. I go, hey, okay, it's gone. Everybody gets it. Now watch it tick off, and there they are. They tell me which ones have been opened already. It's beautiful.
How many were open? You gave the statistic to a couple of us, and it was fascinating.
Sherry, you can log in and see that yourself.
Okay.
You have all the credentials to log in and
You
see that,
said-
but I'll email it to you.
Out of however many members we have, that only 220 people opened up the email.
Right. And the guys at the server, see, this is all brand new to me. The guys at the GoDaddy said, well, 10% is average. And you were at that time, 14. We're at about 20% now, which to me sounds sad. But 20% viewing on these bulk emails. So you're sending out 1,300 emails and only 20% of them.
Compared to marketing, commercial, 20% is outstanding.
And that 20% is outstanding.
That's one of the things that I did at Moose Chalk was keep track of data like that. And if we got a 10% open rate, we were,
Yeah. And we were at 20% in when 24 hours. And so
If you
that,
want to have not a boring subject.
among other things.
But then,
Yes.
how long before members could take and go ahead and get their own profile set up and do any checking?
I can do right now. But what I want to do too, now we're talking about adding those other tables for the locals because we aren't tracking any of that stuff. And having a calculated field for county and all this other stuff. We want to be able to add a picture and all that other stuff. Another thing with the login screen, I was going to let you know, right now we only have one way to log into the site, and that's with a username and a password. It would only be right for us to be able to log in using the Facebook, log in, say, I use Facebook instead, because I'm already logged in, so we can do that stuff too. So there's all kinds of stuff we're going to do. Right now it's just really basic. But I'd like to encourage everybody to create an account and start using it. Oh, and so after you do that, so let's say you create an account, Aaron, I'm talking to you too. Okay, you create an account, so you got it verified, and you got your username there, and you put your member data, and you change your member data, you look it over and make sure it's up to date. Follow that up with an email to me, because right now that's the only way I'll know. Tell me your username, say my username is this, and then I'll go in and tell me what role you want, say what you want to be able to do. And right now, the only thing you're going to be asking me is, I want to be able to edit that user data, which you probably will, and I want to be able to view that member data. Now in the future, we'll say, okay, well, Aaron is a local member, maybe from that side of the state. He can only have access to certain counties. I don't know. Right now, it's just either you can or you can't. And to me, it seems like you ought to be able to. But I'm not making the rules. You do it. Go ahead.
So I just had a question about the linking to Facebook. So we
Yeah.
have a Facebook group specifically for the Wayne County Green Party.
Cool.
Is there a way to ensure that new members who are joining the Wayne County Green Party, that they'll get that information? Like, is there going to be an automatic, like, welcome that's going to go to our new members? As,
Now,
like,
let's see.
email or something?
Thanks. I want to answer your question, Jessica, not Jennifer. Jennifer, yeah, not Jessica. Okay, so I want to answer your question, but I'm going to answer your question with a question. You just asked me the question, did it have anything to do with web server? Because you wouldn't know, would you? The answer is yes. Whatever you want to do, we can do with a program. If it had anything to do with programming, we can do it. I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
All right. You are going to get to the point where SCC stuff won't go through the Yahoo groups anymore, that it'll just be through this type of emails?
Well,
Go ahead.
certainly at this point, and something that's not completing that, the voting and polling system for sure.
Great.
How much of the discussion in that remains to be seen? It may be a separate blog type thing or whatever. But the polling and voting basically will be, because now and then we'll check to see, okay, you're allowed to vote on this. But it will also give us the stats and all that sort of stuff.
Before I call on you guys, I'm going to call on Drake because he got the jump on it.
It's no big deal. SEC can go through a form eventually. You can do a private form and do that, back and forth. After you do all the polling and things.
Yep. Good. I just wanted to mention too that I'm not big into the email systems and the groups and stuff like that because it just hasn't been something I've ever had to deal with. But I'll tell you that Art Mayak, right? Okay, so he sent an email to Sherry, I think that she shared with me, and he was asking about Groups.io, and so I took a look at what is Groups.io, and I was really impressed with it. Now, I don't know, I haven't had a whole lot of experience with the Yahoo group, the SEC. I got to tell you the truth, I went to that SEC because I wanted to be a good Green Party member. I wanted to stay in touch with everything that's going on. And I tell you what, I got so offended by that flaming going back on the character assassination, I just backed off and I said, I'll come back later, but I haven't been back. And so I don't know what's going on there. Once in a while, I'll see something that says, oh, vote, we got to have your vote. And in that case, I always follow up. I find out what's being voted on and I cast a vote. Go ahead.
So I was talking with a good friend of mine after a talk with Doug, where Doug says, I'm frustrated by the avalanche email system, couldn't we do something? And do you guys have a working group? Because we have a member, he doesn't have a local, he's in Livingston County, he's really good. I've known him for a long time, Jesse Suter. He used to work for a company in Ann Arbor called Mexian. They developed applications, for example, the program that Geek Squad uses for its order fulfillment, he wrote that app. Anyway, he's real good at. And I asked him, I said, would it be possible for us to have an internal communication that's in like a bulletin board format that's separated by thread, where we can archive things and continue discussions infinitely?
Let me guess.
And he's got a lot of this already written. He's got a lot of it already written. So if you guys have a working group and would like to bring him into the working group, I'll make sure you guys do that.
I was just going to address Jennifer's question about Facebook. I'd be a little bit concerned about logging into members logging into their membership data through Facebook is one thing, but creating memberships via Facebook is something a bit
No, that's
different.
not what I was
Okay, that's.
No, I was just asking, like, when someone goes to join and signs up and becomes a member, are they going to be able to get like an email that comes basically from the local that they're now a member of, with all the information of how to get involved, and like this is, follow this link, it'll take you to the Facebook group and join the Facebook group because they're now a member.
The answer is yes, and the way to get that done is to spell it all out, and then we have the requirements, and then what we do is we take all the stuff that we got to get done, and we have to prioritize that list and see what we're going to do first. Because there's another question that isn't the answer yes to. You can't do one thing at a time.
I was looking for it. Be further down the road.
Oh, and not a Facebook login, I just want a welcome email.
Yeah, and the welcome packages are going to be timed to go out, and there's probably a way. So I'm going to guess that the basic general welcome package, we can expand and build that better than it is. We'll go out. As far as getting to also specify the logo, that may be an add-on a little bit later in the line, but anyway,
Because I send them out a welcome when they join. And so technically all of our members get 2 welcomes. because they get one from the state and they get one from the local. So it would just be nice for them to just get one that has the information for the local and the state, so it's just one tailored welcome for
And that
each
doesn't
local.
sound like it'd be a real difficult add-on, but like I said, the other will probably come first, and we'll get to that later.
Right, and we have to have everything spelled out because you know a whole lot of stuff about the way this place works, and I don't. It's like, for instance, even which counties belong to your local. Hey, man.
What are you referencing?
C-sharp.
The other is, just a statement, I used to write for
Yeah, you were saying.
General Services Administration, there's a number of things, including levels of redundancy and robustness. But the thing that you'll learn that is gain ease of use and more variability in the access to find out and sacrificing security.
Exactly.
You have ease of use of signing out to various platforms like Facebook.
Yeah.
You are sacrificing security.
You're gonna have to get up to speed on
Well,
it.
there's a lot going on, but right now, even if you follow on Facebook, there's a number of phishing expeditions that's going on.
Yeah, okay, you know what, and I think that that's wonderful, and security is a huge concern, but we're gonna have to talk about that, because things have moved a little bit since you looked at it. Yeah, I'm telling you, really, just since January, okay? Yeah.
You got any more questions for Dan and Paul?
Looking forward to talking with you more, because there will be more to talk about.
All right, thank you guys.